So the biggest thing is just realizing that and we all are going to have those moments. Everybody that you know is going to have that moment of like, what am I doing or what am I going to do? And it's going to be those few seconds where this is the first thing that they think of. So you can't expect that the first time you post, if people don't message you, people don't reach out to you, people don't comment on that post, that means that they're not interested. They might not be interested right now. I wasn't interested the first time I saw a post by Erin, but I was interested when that moment came into my life. It's just like, there's a moment when you step on the scale or you see a picture of yourself and you're like, this is disgusting. Like, I need to do something about it. Like, we've all had those moments too. And so I think that the biggest thing I want you guys to know is this business is not something that happens overnight. If somebody give you that expectation, they're just wrong. Like, they're just wrong. So go ahead and set the right expectation for what to expect in this business, because there are some months in this business that feel really long when you're working really hard, because you're like, I've been working so hard for a week. And then you don't realize, like, holy crap, there's people who have been watching me for 2 years, 3 years, however long. So a little bit about me. I got started 3.5 years ago. I watched, I didn't even really realize I was watching Erin, I guess. But I was looking at the stuff of Finn, because I knew Kyle from college, and I was like, oh, I guess I won't totally unfollow this girl because she still posts pictures of her kids. So I still want to see her. And so I just had seen it, and I remember, like, at one point being like, this is kind of annoying. Like, I just maybe need to unfollow her. And then, like, I don't think I ever did, because I didn't even really know what unfollow was, but I still wanted to watch Finn. So I would, like, go back through this thing. And then there was one moment, like I'm talking about, I literally was thinking about, dang, I need to check my bank account. I really need to go get my hair done tomorrow. I also need to get my nails done, and I need to get my eyebrows waxed. Like, I had all these things I needed to do. And I was like, dang, like, this baby, because I just had my daughter, Mac. I was like, this baby is costing me a lot of money. So I realized I wasn't going to have the money for that. And I was like, that's shitty. I went to school. I got my master's. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I should have money to, like, get my hair and my nails done. It doesn't feel that hard. And I wasn't. And I was just like, what else can I do? And I knew I was not going to take a job that was going to make me have more time away from my daughter. And so Erin popped in my head. And I was like, that girl, I didn't even know her name. I was like, that girl, Kyle's wife, I need to talk to her. And so I messaged him and just got started and didn't look back. I was so freaking ignorant when I started. And I'm telling you this is because it's okay. It's okay to not know anything. You actually shouldn't know anything, because when you get started, sometimes if you think you, like, should know everything, you will never get started, because I still don't know everything. And I will tell you, the more you can realize, that in this business, you're always going to learn, the better. Because if you stay in, like, a student of the business mentality, like, I'm always going to be learning in this business, and you stay open-minded and you don't feel like you're ever going to have it figured out, then you are going to really soar. Because I know that for me, like, I'm always learning new stuff from my team, and from other people. Like, I never feel like, oh, just because I'm a triple diamond, like, I have this figured out. I don't, because the business is always changing. So anyways, the 6 things that we're going to talk about. My first and favorite thing we're going to talk about is self-development. I debated whether I should do this first or last, but guys, I can't wait to do it last. So the first thing is self-development. I didn't know what self-development was when I hopped in. I thought, I'm not suicidal. Like, why the heck would I need self-development? But I just didn't understand really what it was. And really what it was and what it is it's something to just get your mind right. Like, we all have moments, and we all, before we joined this business, joined because we were semi-miserable, right? We didn't like the situation that we were in or are in, and we were trying to change it. There was something about it that made us uncomfortable enough to where we wanted to make a change, right? We didn't join because we were the happiest people on earth, and we wanted to just be a little bit happier. We joined because something pushed us to join, right? So it's very important when you get into the business that you try to help yourself fix that. Okay. You're going to be inspired by so many different people. Like, I lived on YouTube. I watched so many different YouTube channels, like watched so many different videos when I was getting ready. And I didn't even realize that what I was doing, that hungerness to learn, was quote unquote self-development. Okay. So the first thing I would suggest is when you're first getting started, just watch videos about the business. And there's going to be people that you like listening to, people you don't like listening to. But the beautiful thing about listening to videos is that it's like an audible book. Like you don't actually have to watch it. Okay. So you can listen to it when you're driving, when you're getting ready. Cause I was like, who the heck wants to sit down and read a book? Not me. I wasn't at that point. So I was like, no, thanks. So that's something that, I really didn't know much about. What I'm just saying about self-development is it will change your business, but you have to do it consistently. Okay. And if you don't know where to get self-development, talk to your upline, because there's videos on YouTube. There's videos in the team pages. There's all different types of books that I would recommend. The first one I would probably recommend is You Are a Badass. And if you struggle with dreaming, I would recommend The Magic of Dreaming Big, or Thinking Big, The Magic of Thinking Big. And the reason I say those two is, number one is because when I got into the business and I heard about these people making like $70,000 a month, I was like, okay, they're literally ripping people off for their money. Like I had this horrible relationship with like the more money people made, I thought that made them like worse people. But I think that we all have to realize that like we just can't think that big yet. And we have to learn how to think bigger and dream bigger, because we've been so confined in our bubbles, you know? And I thought, I mean, my parents are successful, but I had that limit on like, that was enough, right? Because that's what I saw. But if you want to expand outside of that, you're going to have to grow your mind. Okay. And so that's what self-development does. It makes you a bigger person. It makes you a better person. It helps you realize like you can have it all. You can be the mom that you want to be, the wife that you want to be, the business owner that you want to be. You don't have to pick one or the other, and don't pigeonhole yourself into that. So it's been so big for me in this business, because you're going to have ups and downs. Like that's just part of the journey. The journey is not a smooth road. It's up a mountain and around the curves and down and up and down and up. And so you have to realize that this is not going to be like total smooth sailing. Now there's going to be seasons of smoothness and there's going to be seasons of bumpiness. But once you get to that like bumpiness, you're going to have wanted to prepare for that. Right. I always say, at least if you know the speed bump's coming, you can slow down before you hit it. It's the same thing with this. If you know the speed bumps are coming, like we're telling you they're coming, nothing we can say is going to prepare you for it 100%, but you can at least know, well, this is semi-normal that this can happen, right? And that immediately will help you feel better. Okay, Bree, what do you have to add on self-development? Because I have to stop myself or I'll go all night. It could be a whole Zoom on the importance of self-development.
Okay, so honestly, 99.9% of what I do is Audible. That's or YouTube. So anything that I can listen to, because I have, like I said, an almost 2-year-old, and guys, there's a fly in here and it won't leave me alone. Anyways, for me, Audible, especially if you drive to work every day, if you work full time, driving to work, that is like the perfect amount of Audible time. And or YouTube, whatever you want to do. But honestly, I think especially Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, that is like one that changed the entire game for me. Like it helps you think bigger, and it helps you learn how to like change your financial blueprint in your mind and just understand like kind of on your own, like where you're going, how you're going to get there. And it helps you figure it out on your own. So honestly, that's like my number one tip for self-development, is listening to Tony Robbins and, all kinds of different people that have written these amazing books for you that kind of already have it figured out for you. That way you can kind of just like listen to it, learn, be a sponge, and never stop learning, because like she said, you're never going to know it all. There's just no way. There's always room to learn. So Audible is by far my favorite form of self-development.
Now, when you first got started in the business, what's something that you knew, like you wish you would have known about self-development?
I wish I would have known how important it was, because I thought I didn't need it. Mm-hmm. And I honestly didn't start doing much self-development until after probably around the time I went diamond. So around like 7 months into the business, that's when I finally first started doing it, because I thought I didn't need it. I was like, yeah, okay. Like I'm good. Like, I'm just going to work. That's taking time out of my day that I don't need. I don't have time to sit there and read a book. And I didn't know what Audible was at the time, or I didn't know any YouTube people to look up or anything like that. And so I wish I would have just done it like everyone told me. But it's kind of one of those things, until you do it, you don't understand how important it is. So just hear us out. If you don't already do it, just do it for a month straight and then tell me that it doesn't help.
Yeah. And I think too that like, don't be that person. It's like, you know, people who don't want to put sunscreen on until they get burned, right? Like, don't wait till you're getting burned to put the sunscreen on. Like, don't wait until you need self-development to do it.
Right.
I just literally I was like thinking, God, I need a freaking analogy. Where's my analogy? Okay. So anyways, that is definitely something that you need to think about. It's like, don't just wait, be like, oh, well, I'll do that when I need it. Like, it's not one of those things. Like, you're going to need it before you know you need it. So just start doing it now. Audrey, what about you? What was something you wish you would have known about self-development?
So for me, I was the same way as Brie. Like, I just really never thought that I needed it, and I would randomly do it
it's
on
for
days.
Suicidal people, right?
It's like just for people who like are just depressed or just having a bad day or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, I would always listen to YouTube videos. Like, I would go like listen to Eric Thomas or whatever whenever I was having a bad day, instead of doing it consistently, and realize like it really wasn't doing much for me when I was doing it on those days. Like, yeah, did it give me a little pump that I needed to like do it when I was having a bad day? Yeah, but like Brie, like I didn't really start doing it consistently until like right around the time that I went Diamond 2, because like all of a sudden I was just like, this was huge and things were going. I was just like, dude, I need to pour into myself. Like, I don't really know. And it did. It was a total game changer. And I'm the same way. I use Audible because I'm able to listen to it while I do dishes or whatever. Like, you can just fit it into your time while I'm in the shower. Like, I listen to my audiobooks or I listen to YouTube and stuff, and it just makes it so easy. And it really does, like, it changes everything. Like,
yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, okay, let's say you're like a 7, right? Like, that's where your normal range is. And then on a bad day, you listen to it and you're like a 6, right? So then you listen to it to bring it back up, bring yourself back up to a 7. But then if you only listen to it, then you're never going to get past a 7, right? But if you listen to it on the days where you're a 7, you can even grow yourself to an 8 and to a 9 and to a 10. And so I think that that's the way you have to think of it. You can't always just say, oh, well, I need to get back to where I was, because that's not growing. That's just getting back to even. So like, even if you're not doing this business, self-development is something you still should do every single day, no matter what. So, again, I need to stop talking about it, because this is literally the most important thing. Somebody said, you know, this business really is like self-development with a compensation plan, because this business is very mental. It'll stretch you, in a lot of different ways, in a good way, you know? And so just be prepared for that. So the next thing I really want to talk about is adding to your network, because I think that this is one of the most important things in the business that, you know, we sometimes forget to do. We're like, yeah, I added people today, but like, there's no real like obvious thing, right? People are going to know if you post or not, you know, like you're going to be able to see that. Like, you're going to be able to see like, oh yeah, I sent out X number of messages. But for adding to your network, sometimes it can be very vague, because, you know, people might not accept your request and you don't know. So it can sometimes fall to like the wayside as one of those last things that you're like, oh, I'll do that if I have time. But it's actually something that I do first thing in the morning, especially because my brain's not fully woken up yet before I have my coffee. But what I do is I always just like, we'll go add people, because it's kind of like a mindless task. And it's one of the last things I do before I go to bed. And so I always like will save like post. Okay. So the things that I look for when it comes to adding to my network is I look for people who are like me. Okay. And one of the things that, and the reasons why I do that is because like, I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody who is doing hunting and fishing stuff. Like, that's fine. Like, we could have a conversation, I guess, but like, it would be harder because we wouldn't have that much in common. And so it's not that I'm choosing who I like better. It's just choosing somebody that I can relate to easier. Right. It's almost like for all of you moms on here, like once you become a mom, it's kind of like you lose some friends who aren't moms yet. And it's not that you don't love them any less. It's just you have less to talk about. Right. And so you go through that transition stage with your friends. It's the same thing in the business. You just want to have things that are going to be easy to talk about with that person. So I always look for things. So I will go to baby boutiques. It's great to find like sponsored ads that pop up on your page on Facebook. And then you also now are getting some on Instagram, and go to the people who like those pages. Okay. On Instagram, you can also search hashtags. I just try not to only do that. I will mix that in. But the reason I don't only do that is because it's actually only showing you the public accounts. You don't get the private accounts when you search hashtags, because obviously they're private, so they won't show up in the feed. So that's definitely something that you will miss out if you'll miss out on all the people that are private. So Bree, you can kind of expand a little bit more on what you do to grow your network every day.
So specifically for Instagram, Captivate is a major thing. If you don't know how to use it, look it up on YouTube or something. I'm telling you, like, I remember when I learned how to use it, and I was one of those people that I work more Facebook than Instagram, but I'm trying to like get more into Instagram. And so one day I was like, man, like I only have so many followers and I'm only following this many people. Like I'm going to go ahead and just go follow a bunch of people. So y'all, I followed like 2,000 people in like 2 days or something like that. Like something stupid. I just got really excited about it and just followed some people, but not even with that Captivate. Like I did it just on my own. And then out of nowhere, I still only had so many followers, but then I was following so many more people and it just doesn't, like when you go to an account like that, you're like, oh, like I don't want to follow you, right? Like you're following so many people and nobody's following you back. So I was like, man, that looks bad. And I was trying to play around with Captivate. I honestly didn't even know how I did it in the beginning, but then I turn around and the next morning I wake up and I have like an extra 1,000 followers and I unfollowed I was only following like 300. And so it looked so much better because of my ratio, right? So just play around with it and figure out how to use it, because it's a major game changer if you don't already use like the Cleaner app or something like that. And then Facebook, I do a lot of the followed ads in like groups, mom groups and Ray Dunn groups and home decor groups, stuff like that. That's like a major thing, but something not to do. This is like something I did, and I know my enroller did too. They did that whenever we both did it whenever we first joined, and it kind of like ended up being a snowball effect of negativity. Because so what I would do is I would go to somebody's page and go through all of their friends and add all of their friends, like a friend of a friend. And then I go add all their friends. And then I do the same thing and do the same thing. What happens is you end up enrolling one of those people, right? And then you've already messaged all of their warm market, because you're added all of their girlfriends, right? So do not do that, because that is something we learned the hard way. So everybody that I went to high school with, my enroller already has on her friends list. And I'm like, how do you know these people? She's like, well, I added them when I didn't know what I was doing, you know? So just be mindful of that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've definitely done that before, but I do add all the people who say no to me. Like the ones that are hard-nosed and kind of like rude about it, I go add all of their people. I'm like, fine, if you don't want to do it, I know when your friends will. So I definitely always do it. Cause like sometimes I feel like I'm following from the same type of things a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing the business for 3.5 years. So it's kind of like, I'm like, okay, fine. You say no, I have a whole new market to add to, right? Like, so it's not even a bad thing a lot of times when that happens. Cause then a lot of them have like, they get like 700 likes on their posts. I'm like, you're so dumb for not making money on social media, but okay, live your best life. Go ahead. So I think that like, that's definitely something that you don't like, just try to get something positive out of it. It will make you feel a little bit better. Okay. Audrey, what about you?
For me, I do the same thing. I use Captivate for Instagram. That would help me really grow my friends, because I was doing the same thing as Bree, like where I really had like no followers on Instagram, because I never used Instagram before I started this business. So this was a completely new thing for me. So I went from having no followers to now I almost have like over 2,000. And so it's really, really helped me grow that. And it makes it so much easier too, because it follows for you all day. So you're not having to take your time out to like individually follow. So if you're super busy, that like helps cut down on time. And then on Facebook, I do the same thing, like kind of like sponsored ads, but I also started doing something new that Kristen Williams gave me a tip on. And it was like, you know how you can go to discover videos now. And so like, it'll have like the different videos. I go to like Stephen Furtick videos or things like that. And like go to people who are liking it, because I know that they're going to have like obviously like mindsets like me, you know, if they're watching a video like that. and I look through people's profiles and I add them that way. So it kind of takes a little bit more time because I'm like looking through their profile, but I'm trying to like add more intentionally than just like adding a bunch of people, because that's what I did in the beginning. And I just had like a ton of like other direct sales people or things that like people that I had really, like you said, nothing in common with. So going through their profiles has been a lot better for me.
Is that on Facebook or Instagram?
That's on Facebook. You can do like, it says like, there's like a little video thing at the bottom now, and you can click it and it says like discover videos. So you can just like scroll through there and just like see a video that you like, and then you can go and like look at the people that I've liked.
On Instagram, when you're following people other than Captivate, do you look at their profiles?
If I'm physically following, yes. But if I'm doing it on Captivate, no, because I just auto load like 300. I auto load 300 users every day.
Yeah. So what I do on Instagram is I don't look at people's profile, because I feel like I know when people are like a blogger or not, because normally like my name is Kelsey Thornton, right? And my username is K Thornton. Okay. That is normal. But like if it's going to have something most of the time to do with your name.
Yeah.
Now bloggers, they typically will have like, let's say mine's like the Lemon Day or something like that. And then like, but my name is Kelsey Thornton. Like it's like some sort of different like name. And so that's kind of like my little thing that I say about to look for bloggers. It's like they have like a whole brand associated with their page. So when I'm just going down and following, I always put those people, because I don't need to follow somebody who already has 40,000 followers. They already have their own brand going on. And so I always people who are liking their stuff. But a lot of bloggers, you guys, follow other bloggers. And so you can end up with a lot of just different bloggers and bloggers and bloggers. So actually, I'm going to see real quick just to show you, because this took me a little bit to figure out. Okay. So this girl, for instance, she popped up on my Explore page. Super cute. I'm going to click this. Okay, let me see if I can find it. And you'll know by their pictures. A lot of times bloggers.
Yeah, I try to add people that look like have a normal profile picture.
Yeah, people who have like professional pictures, you're like, probably not. Okay, this girl, even though she doesn't have a lot of followers, it says like bird's eye travel. Can you guys see that? Like, okay, I don't need, like, you're already doing something with traveling, and then I click it, it says personal blog, blogging about travel. Okay. And I mean, I probably might still follow her because she doesn't have a lot of followers, and so maybe she wants to incorporate into this. Oh, this is going. Oh, I just lost it. Okay, whatever. But it said like the simple sweetness or something like that. Like that has nothing to do with who that girl is. She's promoting something else. And so I typically try to just like keep an eye out for that. And it's not bad. Like nothing, it's not going to kill you or ruin your business if you do. But you just want to get people who are going to follow you back. Okay, that's really the whole goal. And so that's how I do it on Instagram. And then on what Captivate will do, Cleaner will do, is it will select, and I only do it once or twice a week, but it will select all the people who aren't following you back. Okay. And then it will unfollow those specific people for you. So that way you don't
Captivate too.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So you use Captivate. Do you use both?
I use Captivate for unfollowing and following. Do
you not use Cleaner? Mm-mm. Do you use Cleaner, Brie? Yeah, I do both because I think it limits you on your unfollowing for both. So I just do them on two separate platforms. Okay. So, but then on Captivate, you can choose, like, let's say you really like a blog, you can go say, I want to follow these users, and it will automatically follow those people for you, because it's like very mindless, like to just click every single person. So it saves you a lot of clicks. And then on Facebook, do not do the suggested friends. That's the only thing I would add. Don't do the suggested friends on Facebook. And pretty much you're pretty good anywhere else. Like she said, the videos on Facebook are good. Even going to those suggested ads that pop up. I had a lot of clothes pop up, or I have shoe websites pop up or whatever. And then I click like the people who are actually liking that post. So that's one thing. Okay, so let's talk about messaging. Okay, so Bree, I want you to kind of touch on what you thought of messaging at first, what your biggest fear was, and kind of how you message now.
So my biggest fear was being rejected. So asking somebody to do something and they said no. That was like, but now it's like an everyday occurrence and it's fine. Like, trust me, it's fine. It's gonna happen over and over again. Guess what? I said no too. And now look, so yes, go for the no's. Like I've heard so many people say, and it's such a good way to message is that like, okay, I want to get 10 no's today, and I'm not going to stop messaging till I get 10 no's or whatever. Like you want the no's because those aren't always no, they're not right now. And that means that you're messaging enough people, if people are replying, that's good. Like, so, but how that's kind of like when I first started messaging, I would count how many messages I sent out every day. I would, like it was a lot to keep up with. But now I'm more so message from I do a lot of host to post. So I pretty much host to post has taken over a lot of how I add people too, because sometimes I have so many people that I'm adding on host to post and that I'm messaging from host to post that I don't necessarily need to go out of my way to message because I'm already on my phone 24/7 from host to post. So host to post is how I do that now. But if you don't do that, I mean, you can still message either way. But a lot of the time, like I just say, hey, question. That's what I say when I message for host to post or just messaging in general, like, hey, question. And that way it's not just a cold message. Like it's not so like, I don't even like using the word cold message because you should be interacting with pretty much everybody that you're messaging anyways. You should be intentional with it. You shouldn't just be messaging and adding random people constantly. So, I like to say, hey, question. And then when they reply, if you're wanting to ask them about the business, ask them about the business. Ask them if they want to make an extra income. Make it real simple. Like you're talking to your best friend, not like you're trying to reel somebody in. And if you're asking them to host a post for you, hey, I would love to offer you, a free sample of Keto Energy if you'd be willing to make a post for me. Are you interested? Just be super simple, straightforward, to the point. But I do love the fact, like I've always had really great responses with just saying, hey, question, and then that's it. And then that way people, if they're not going to reply to your cold message, I mean, if they're not going to reply to that, they would not reply to a cold message for sure. And if that gets them really interested in what you're asking them because they're like, oh, like that's weird that she just messaged me randomly and is like, question, I wonder what she wants. So then they're going to read that message for sure. They're going to reply to you and then you can get started talking to them, but don't sound like a computerized like person that's just wanting to make a sale or wanting like, to add somebody to their chart. Like be like a real person with them. And I think that that's like the main thing that I would, my main goal every day is to like just be intentional and just be a friend to everybody and just be uplifting.
I love that. Okay. And how many messages do you try to get out like a day, or how much time do you try to dedicate to messaging?
So what I do is every single day I go to the gym early in the morning. So then when I get home, I have a good 2 to 2.5 hour window where I'm home and I'm already ready to get, for the day and before Blair wakes up. So I have a good 2-hour power hour right then, as long as I can. But I try to get everything done. So I just work on my 6 list every day, but I don't really count my messages I send out. I more so count how many replies I get. So I try to add 10 potentials a day, whether that's loyal customer. So I try, if I go to bed, like I have at least 10 more people added to my potential list, no matter what. And I usually always have at least 2 to 4 host to post for the next day.
I love that. Okay. I'm going to start doing that actually. Okay, Audrey, what about you? What, like, did you hop into this being like, I can't wait to message people?
I was so excited. No, messaging was like nerve-wracking because you're, like Bree said, like you're just afraid of people telling you no at first, like you don't, I know a lot of people feel like they're going to bother people. And so like, I kind of felt a little bit that way too, but I kind of went ham on posting or messaging whenever I first started, just because I was like super excited and I just really wanted to like, go fast. And so I started messaging everyone. Now I don't really 100% suggest that because that I don't suggest cold messaging just like crazy. Definitely want to build relationships with people. And that's what I've like kind of grown into is like, I really make an effort to like build a relationship with people, like to actually like get to know them, like to think about it like in the terms that I am helping people, because this business really did help me. And so like now when I message with the intent of helping someone. So if I'm going to message you, it's because I sincerely believe that this business can help you. And looking at it from that point of view has really helped me grow my business as well, because I've been able to, like, people can feel when you're just messaging them because you just need another box on your team in order to hit that promotion or whatever. Or if you're genuinely messaging them because you're like, dude, this business changed my life, and I know I can see, you know, what you're posting, and I can see that this business would change yours. Or even the products, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are posting like, oh man, I'm so overweight or whatever, and you message them, like, if you're just messaging them because you want to make a sale, like, they're going to be able to feel that. But if you're genuinely being like coming from a standpoint of caring, like, they're going to be able to feel that too. And so that's where I've kind of changed and grown as I've started to message. It can be scary in the beginning, but no is just, yeah, like she said, it's just not right now. Like, it doesn't really bother me anymore at all, actually.
Yeah. So what is like your goal on messaging?
I mean, I try to send out like 50 to 100 messages to new people every day, mostly through Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. So my thing on messaging is that it's only scary if you're not excited about it. And the only reason you wouldn't be excited about it is if you're not excited about the business. So it's always going to be a you problem. It's not anybody else problem. Okay. So the thing, I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm just saying that to realize, like, everybody who's in the diamond and above, emerald and above, ruby and above, they've all gotten there because they've messaged. And if you want this business to work, you're going to have to be excited about it. You're going to have to want to share it with other people, because that's what this is it's sharing it. And if you go into the conversation knowing that you're offering somebody a gift, then it's not your job to convince them to take the gift. It's just your job to simply tell them, hey, I have this gift. If they take it or not, it's not your decision. Okay. Now, the other way I look at it is when people get no's, because I think that that's like the hardest thing when you do first get started, like they both talked about, is to realize that your business doesn't depend on one person's yes. Okay. Like, it should be, okay, next. Like, because if you think about any business, which your business, you're now a business owner, you own a business, this is your business. If you think about any business, think about the biggest one you can think of. The biggest one I can think of right now is Pepsi. Okay. Pepsi has a human resources department. They offer jobs online. There's job openings that come up. Pepsi interviews people. They offer the job to one person, right? They offer that job. If that person says, no, Coke offered me a better deal, or no, I'm not ready because this is in this location, I don't want to. Does Pepsi shut down? Does Pepsi close its doors for the entire day? Do they say, sorry guys, we really can't make any more Pepsi because one person said no to me? No, you guys, they obviously don't do that. So stop viewing the no's as personal. What Pepsi does is they say, no problem. There's 1,000 other candidates over here that I'm going to go reach out to. Next. Okay. So stop viewing that somebody is saying no to you. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to the business. They're saying not right now, or they're saying no to themselves. And it's always mostly the third option. Okay. So with messaging, don't overthink it. Just be genuine. You know, I send out a very genuine message. Now, it might be the same message to a lot of people, but it is a genuine message because it's how I talk. You know, like, hey, the people that I do message, I'm actually messaging you because I really think you're cool, because all the other people I unfollowed, right? Like, and of millions of people that are on Instagram, I picked you. Like, that's a big deal, especially if you're only messaging 50 people a day. Realize how many other people you could have messaged. So realizing that it is not, like, if you view this business as a gift to share, you're not going to be annoying anybody. You would be selfish to not do it. You would be selfish to not share this business with other people. So have that mindset going into it. And then also have the mindset of, it's not your job to convince them. Okay. So take the pressure off. Your job is to show them there is another way if they want the other way. We can show them the door. Okay. If not, move on. Right? We didn't want to, me and Audrey and Bree, none of us wanted to see the door. We didn't even know we should see the door until one day the door popped right in front of our face and we were like, damn, better walk in this. Okay. So don't try to convince somebody and try to lead the blind to the door that they can't see. And I've had people 3 years watch me for 3 years. Okay. And that's just what happens. So there's a lot of people who are going to be interested today. There's going to be a lot of people interested tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of people interested in 3 years. So just know that your job's not to get everybody. Okay. Next. I told you guys this wasn't going to be short. I try to be like, oh, this is going to be a really quick training. Okay. So next thing, interacting. So let's talk about, and you guys, if you want message scripts and different ideas that we send, those are all on the team page. So make sure you just type out and search in the team page and you send message. Hold on a second. And you send type in the search bar message or potential distributor, potential customer, whatever. And then search that way. But the next thing we're going to talk about is interacting. Okay. Because I think this is also adding one of the more underrated things that we do, because a lot of us want to just do the posting and do the messaging and we forget and we're complaining about how nobody likes our stuff and we don't understand why. So Audrey, talk a little bit about that and what you do on the daily for your business and how you are strict with yourself about making sure that you're not just in the scroll hole.
Yeah, it's super easy to get stuck in. So what I did is if you are able to get onto Facebook on the desktop, you're able to create a list on your friends. And so anybody that I have that's a potential, I have separate ones for potential customers, potential distributors. And I'll go to those lists and I can specifically go straight to those people's pages and then interact with them. So I'll go through and I'll make sure I ask a question. So if I see a lipstick I like or whatever, I'm ooh girl, what's that color or whatever. So that way they're kind of interacting with me and they're who is this girl? Anybody that adds me new too, when you go to your friends, you can see recently added. So I always interact with those people, the people that just add me back, except my friend requests. I always go interact with them. I'll go on their page. I'll like a few of their pictures. I'll comment and I'll always ask a question. So that way they're interacting with me and trying to figure out who I am. So that's how I try to stay focused, is by doing the list.
Awesome. And do you feel that helps your interaction?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't actually feel this was very important. This was something that I kind of slacked on a lot in the beginning. Because I was dude, who cares? As long as I'm sending out the messages and as long as I'm posting, it's just going to happen, But people want to see that you're interested in their lives too, not that they're just supposed to be interested in mine. And so that's definitely something that's super important. So I've noticed my interaction go up a lot, and I have there was posts when I would have nobody like it, and now I have posts that 200 people like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely changed stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. What about you, Bree? What do you do for making sure you're getting the most people to see your post?
So I try to do almost every day interaction post for sure. But so that's for growing my interaction. But there's one thing that I want to
interaction post for the people who are new on here. What does that mean?
So basically, I know one really good one. I'm into interiors. So I did, you can do the Property Brothers and then the Fixer Upper couple, and then, and put who would you want to do your house? And then you're going to get hundreds of comments on it. Or, okay, girls, I need a new lipstick. What's your favorite brand? Or I need a new foundation. What's something that's full coverage that's not too heavy? Or, just random stuff like that people are going to comment. Or y'all, moms, if you're a mom, utilize that, because you can be hey, my kid needs help with potty training, or my kid's acting out. What moms, I need some advice. Do you know how many comments you're going to get on that? So many. So that is an interaction post. So if I were you, I'd probably be posting an interaction post every other day at least. And then but how I go about interacting is I have an actual physical list that I go through for all of my potentials, and I specifically do a power hour every day for interacting, because it is that important. That's how you're going to get those likes, and that's how you're going to get your interaction up. And y'all, you have to understand that you are not the only rap girl that everybody's following or friends with. You know, you want them to pick you out of the other 7 that they have on their friends list as well. So, you know, if you're constantly already checking in with them anyways, or already commenting on their stuff, they know that you're going to take care of them whenever they need product, or, you know, you're not just going to make that sell and never talk to them again. So that's very important. Like, interaction is a huge, huge deal. It's just as important as messaging and posting. And then also, there's one thing that I've been saying this for forever. I need to do this, but I can't find the video anywhere. Kelsey, you may be able to help. I know on Facebook there's a way to create a whole separate timeline. Like, you maybe have to do it on desktop, where it's like you can add your potentials to this timeline. They don't even know they've been added. They have no clue. And you can specifically like do one for your potential loyals and one for your potential distributors. And so for all your potential loyals, they're for sure going to see it because they've been added into this. So say you add 200 people, 200 of your potential loyals to it. Those 200 people are going to see it, but it's going to look like it's on their normal timeline. And then if you can just post maybe like 2 or 3 before and afters a day of, instead of doing it on your actual like timeline, it's not going to post on your physical timeline. They're just going to see it. It's different. I need to look up a new video.
Just like what Audrey was talking about, how you talk about like creating the list, like your list of the people that you want to see in the newsfeed. You can also post to that list.
Okay.
So you have to create the list on the desktop.
Okay.
So
is that how you do it? Do you like post in it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I
find like a whole new time, like you'll see a whole new, like it looks like a regular news feed, but it only has the people that you added into that group. Mm-hmm. And you'll like, so at the top, it'll still say write something, but you're just posting to that timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then it's not everybody and their mother.
Audrey, I don't know if you're trying to say.
I have it right here. Like, okay. I mean, I'm just gonna like cover people's names so that people don't see it. But how do I turn this thing around? There we go. Okay, so like, see how it's like this is my on this list for PDT, and it says like you can make your post. It looks exactly like a regular timeline, except it's just like in that list only. So you can scroll through, and you're only gonna see people that are in that list.
Yeah. So I need to do that. We need to maybe like make a video on how to do it, because there was a video, but I can't find it anywhere. And
it's so easy.
Erin posted it on her team, like that team page, saying it's like called making the list or something, creating the list. I don't know. But yeah, so the reason that interacting is so important, you guys, is because Facebook knows all, and so they're gonna understand that, like, okay, let's say Bree is posting this stuff and I like her stuff, and then she starts liking my stuff. You've probably already noticed that you're seeing the same people's stuff over and over on your Facebook, okay? And it's basically because Facebook wants to show you things that you like and that are relevant to you. And so if you like somebody's stuff and they like yours, they're going to keep showing that same person's stuff. So one thing that I do to like get out of that, there's also a way on Facebook. Let me see if I can figure out. I know exactly how to do it on the desktop, but at least 1 or 2 times a day, I go to, let me see real quick. I go to okay. So if you click the 3 lines over here, and then you scroll, because you'll have like your suggested things. And then there's there'd be like the see more button. And one of those things down there it's called feeds. Okay. You guys see that? It's called feeds. And when you click feeds, always click like the most recent. Okay. And that way you're not just seeing the same people that are relevant or that Facebook thinks are relevant. You're seeing the most recent post. Okay. And then let's say like, so on this, like I'm seeing like all these things of people who I don't even know. And then there's people that I'm like, dang, I thought I unfriended that person. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this person and unfriend her, okay? Because you're going to be like, crap, I didn't even know that this person still followed me or whatever. So I think that there's a lot of that happens. There's no way I literally know all 4,999 people that are on my Facebook friends. And so that's a really good way for me to kind of see who's active and then also do it that way. So that's one tip that I have for interacting. And then also, if you do get in the scroll hole, just force yourself to always be liking or commenting on something. Like there shouldn't be a post that you pass that you're not liking or commenting. And if you don't want to like or comment, unfollow that person so you don't see them anymore. Because at the end of the day, your scrolling should be income producing, and it can be income producing, but you have to do it and in a very intentional way to where you're interacting with a lot of people. Another thing that kind of hindered me when I first got started, not when I first got started, actually. When I first got started, I loved following all It Works people. Not just It Works people, but a lot of It Works people, because I got a lot of inspiration from their posts, and I got a lot of ideas, and I learned a lot from following them. And once I got the hang of it, it became more of like a, oh, what's she doing? And oh, what's this person doing? And it wasn't a learning thing. It was more of just a nosy thing. And so what I did was, at one point I was like, this is not income producing. All the people I see are already It Works distributors, and they're all my friends, and I need to take a break. So I created a separate list where I basically unfriended like all my side, not unfriended, but like put them in a separate group for all my friends. And that way I wasn't just clogged, and I was seeing new people all the time, because you can fall into that hole of only following people who do It Works, which obviously isn't leaving you any interaction for new people to come into your business. So that's probably something just to keep in mind. Now, if you are new, like within the last month, you definitely need to be following It Works people. Ask your upline for people to follow. You know, if you're a mom, follow certain people who are moms so you can get some inspiration ideas, because it's so important to learn, and you learn by like seeing and doing. And so that's one way you can do it. Okay. One of the last things we have two more things. The next one is posting, and then the last one's going to be following up. And so posting, the glorious posting. Okay. Let's talk about that. I was the most nervous to post. I wasn't scared to message. I wasn't scared to add to my network. I wasn't scared to talk to people in person about it. I wasn't scared to do really any of that. I was actually most nervous to post. Okay. And here's the reason. Facebook is very judgmental. The people on Facebook, how many times have you heard your friends say, oh my gosh, did you see this on Facebook? Did you see this girl do this? Or did you see this girl do this? And you knew that the moment you posted you joined a business, all your friends were going to be like, oh my God, did you see that she joined? Blah, 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 right? And so you are like shivering on your insides because you're like, how do I make this sound not as bad? Like, do I even tell them it's actual business, or do I say it's works? And so you're going through this whole thing in your mind, right? Every single time you post, which is no bueno. And so what we're going to talk about is how to make yourself not look spammy, and how to make yourself a real person. Because the thing is everybody's worst fear is being spammy. But if you live your worst fear, if you are spammy, you're never going to succeed at this business. Okay. And the spamminess, the first thing I will say about posting is, on baby Jesus's name, please do not share any more videos. Do not share any cat videos. Do not share any videos of somebody in Ethiopia who got electrocuted by a train. Like, don't share any videos ever again. Okay. Unless you're maybe doing one from like an opportunity event. Okay. Then I might do it. I don't even share Mark's family call video. Okay. And here's the reason. It's not like just don't share videos because Kelsey's being mean and saying you can't share videos. And because, I mean, there's a lot of videos that I think are interesting, and I would be like, dang, like, I wish that everybody could see this video. But guess what? You just don't do it. And here's why. Basically what it's telling Facebook is, this girl doesn't have any content. And so she wants to share somebody else's content to all of her followers. Okay. And so you're basically dumbing down like what you're providing and helping somebody else's video, whoever's that you shared. Okay. If you like the post that you want to share, copy it, screenshot it. Like, there is literally so much you can do, and just repost it, but do not share. Once you click that share button, you're toast. You're toast. Like, you just got to stop. It's like literally the number one thing that will ruin your algorithm. And it's okay. Like, I still have potentials that like I talk to that have a lot of shared stuff, because I know that can be taught. Like, I'm not going to judge people if how many videos they share, because there's people that have shared a lot of videos that I've coached them up on how to clean up their profile, and it changed like that. So I'm not saying like the people that, you're talking to, if they have all these shared videos, oh God, they're going to be no good. No, they can still be awesome at this business. So don't just judge somebody who's only sharing videos, but just coach them up on what we're telling you, of don't just share videos all the time. And then I had a quick schedule of what I like to do when I was posting. I copied Erin's, I think this is hers. I would post something motivational in the morning. The only asterisk I would put by that is especially if you're focusing mostly on Instagram, try to do a bright background. You don't want like a really dark quote, because people's eyes are just way more attracted to something light. And your first impression on Instagram is going to be those first 9 photos. So if you look at my page, you can see like all my quotes or motivational things have like a white background. And so my page, just because of that, looks so much brighter. If I wish there was like a filter that I could just put all these white backgrounds on black to show you like how much darker and worse it would make my page look if that were the case. Now you can do like gray, and like I'm not saying like you have to be married to white, but I'm just saying just be aware by doing a lot of dark backgrounds, because it can make your page look less inviting, I guess would be the best word. So I would post something motivational in the morning. I would post like a before and after picture or a product post in the midday when I was on my lunch break. And then at night when I got home, I would take a picture of whatever I was doing. Once my kids were down, I would make a post about it. Okay. So the thing is the most sticky thing is the product post, right? Because it's like, how do I let people know about the products without being annoying? So Audrey, how did you do that?
Well, I wasn't great at it at first. I think that my memories are starting to pop up with my old posts, and I'm like, oh my God, like I would never post that now. But I think that it's just a learning thing. And for me, like, my most important tip that I would give is to like never pull anything from Pinterest, like those posts that like explain the products. Like I just can't stress that enough. Every time I see that, I'm like, ugh, like, come on, like just get a really nice picture of the product. And you can find those on Pinterest too.
Like this. So if you type in "it works" on Pinterest, like they'll have like these
like that
pictures.
Those are killer, man. Like, because that looks to me like you're looking at a good way. No, not killer in a good way. Killer like kill your business. Not. It's gonna make people want to scroll past you and unfollow you. I try not to. I don't want to sound rude either, but like whenever I see that, I'm just like a nice picture of the product. If you don't personally have it, just an attractive picture. Like of the
this is also on Pinterest, but this is cute. Yeah.
But that's attractive. That looks like, ooh, what is that? What does she have? Like, you know, like. That would make me attracted to that. Doesn't make you want to scroll. So that is where I really stress. Also bad.
Like with
anything like that is just not where I would go with that. I try to, like, if I don't have the product myself that I'm personally posting about, I try to find an attractive picture like Kelsey showed, and then try to like say a little bit something about it, but mostly like I just try to show myself using the products. So I always made it a point to run my auto ship and make sure that I had product on hand that I was personally using, so that I knew exactly what I was talking about. I knew what things tasted like. I knew what things were about. Like in the beginning when I first started, I had never tried a product, never, not one. I'd never touched a product, never seen one, never any of it. So I didn't know anything about them either, but I knew as soon as I got started, it was important for me to start doing that. So, I tried my wraps, things like that. Those pictures of yourself using the products, that's what people's going to really like. Be like, oh, like she's using that, like, what is that? Like, but if you're just showing things like you're finding on Pinterest, people are going to be like, okay, she's turned into a magazine. I don't want to watch her anymore. So just try to steer clear of that.
Yeah, I love that. Bree, what are your tips on posting?
So you just want to make all of your pictures, like, I'm telling you, PicTapGo, best investment I've ever invested in my entire life. Facetune, like, just don't over edit them, but y'all edit every single picture that you post. Edit it, make it crisp, make it clear, make it bright and pretty, because I'm telling you, that makes a world of difference. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me, what app do you use? Like, you look like you use a professional camera, like, for all your pictures. And I'm like, bro, it's PicTapGo. Like, that's everything. So I'm sure there's other versions of PicTapGo if you can't get it, if you don't have an iPhone, or if you don't want to buy it, there's other versions of it. But seriously, editing your pictures is like one of the most major things, because it just makes everything look so much more crisp, clear, and bright. And also, yes, like my biggest pet peeve is people posting stuff that is black, green, and bling all over that say join my team and all of that stuff. Like you do not, and everybody kind of pretty much does that in the beginning. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people do that in the beginning. But you just have to explain it in a nice way to your team. If you, like you have somebody on your team that's doing that, show them an example. Say, okay, follow this person. Give them a list of people to follow, and say basically just like copycat what they're doing. If they post a picture of their lunch, like if you don't have a pretty lunch, go get a picture of a pretty lunch off of Pinterest. And if they post a product like post or whatever, don't steal it, but use the idea and go and make it your own, because to me that's the best way to kind of like start getting in a better routine of learning how to post and what you should be posting. Because I know a lot of people are like, I don't have a kid, I don't have a dog, like what do I even post about? So grab a picture on Pinterest of a summer outfit or a fall outfit. Oh my God, I'm so excited for fall. Or, oh my gosh, I need this for fall. And then, do you know how much interaction that's going to get from girls? Like tons of interaction. And also, I do a lot of product posts. Like I pretty much do all of my before and afters either in the comments, in my story, or sliding from like, so I'll do a picture, so those greens, say I have a picture of a before and after from just greens, I would post a picture like Kelsey just showed y'all, and then on Instagram do it where you can slide it and see the before and after from greens. Or like I said, I do at least probably around 2 to 3 before and afters in my story every day. I do my product every time I'm using a product, I put it in my story. I really pretty much only post 3 to 4 times a day on my actual page, because you don't want to over post. Even if you're posting the best stuff, like you don't want to over post so that everybody sees so much of your stuff that they want to unfollow you. You want to just make yourself look as tasteful and like inspirational and all of that as you can, because there's people that I'm sure probably have gotten annoyed by me posting 3 to 4 times a day, but because I'm inspirational, all my pictures are crisp, clear, and bright, they love seeing my daughter, they don't unfollow me. And so just make sure you just look appealing. Really, that's the main thing, is just be appealing and don't overpost, but also don't underpost, and don't be spammy. That's the number one thing, is just don't be spammy.
And the thing is, I know we kind of sound harsh too when we're talking about this stuff, but just know, like, we only know this because we failed and we were spammy at first. Okay. Like, it's not like we came out of the womb, like knowing how to post like these awesome posts and like how to make these awesome words flow together and like whatever. Like, I remember when I just got started, I would literally spend like 40 minutes, like typing and untyping and typing and untyping and like, and like erasing. And like, I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to say. And so we all have gone through that stage. And like, if you don't know what to post, like, we have so many tools. And so ask your upline, like ask the person you enrolled with and be like, listen, bro, like, I'm trying to post this picture and I can't think of the words to say, like, can you just help me? And that's the only way you're going to learn. Like, the best advice, like, we could sit here and talk to you for this whole Zoom, but like, the best advice is in the questions that you are going to ask. Okay. It's not on the Zooms. It's not on any of this stuff. It's on what you are going through and what questions you have. So ask them. But in order to know what questions to ask, you have to be doing stuff. Okay. So posting, again, intermix some lifestyle stuff. Lifestyle just means like, hey, I'm sitting here drinking a glass of wine, working my business, watching The Bachelor. Like, what are you doing? You can make money doing this too. So it's basically showing people what you're doing and telling them how they can fit it into their life as well. So I'm just going to cover following up real quick, because I really want to try to keep this like an hour. So following up, literally, if I am not signing people, it's always because I'm not following up. Always. Because I mean, I'm posting, like, posting is just a part of my lifestyle now. I know how to add people. I have almost 11,000 followers on Instagram, and I started with like 300. So started from the bottom, y'all. And so what the biggest thing is following up. Okay. When people are talking to you about the business, they're not going to sign the first time you talk to them 99% of the time. But they need to talk about it. They need to know what they're getting themselves into. And so talk to them, follow up with them. Sometimes conversations just fall off, okay? But the biggest advice I can give you when it comes to following up is A, the fortune is in the follow-up. There will be money in following up. B, take the words, let me know, out of your vocabulary. Stop saying that. if Bree is like on a, let's say I post something about, I'm looking for 5 girls who want to grow their hair out. Bree comments and she's like, me. And so I message her, we had this amazing conversation and she's like, all right, let me get back to you. Or she's like, all right, I'm going to talk to my husband about it and I'll let you know. And I'll be like, okay, girl, just let me know. Like I will, just let me know when you talk to him and I'll help you go through the website, right? That's like something you would say. Well, literally, if you stop saying that, guess what? The ball is in your court, right? So instead of just saying, let me know, all you need to say is, hey girl, no problem. When do you think that he's going to get home? Or I'm going to follow up with you on Wednesday to make sure you didn't have any questions. Whatever. Give them a time that you're going to follow up with them, whatever you're comfortable with. My maximum time is 2 days. That's all you get, bro. It's not that hard of a decision. Like for customers, especially. For distributors, if they tell me they get paid on Friday and it's like 2 weeks, I check in with them on Thursday. I check in with them the Thursday before, and then I'll check in with them on Wednesday. And then I'm still having conversations with them throughout the week, and Lord knows I'm interacting in all their posts. Okay. So the biggest thing is just making sure that people know that you didn't forget about them. And I always fall on the sword. It's so easy to follow up when you're like, I'm so sorry we never connected. You know, I'm so sorry I never helped you get your order in. I'm so sorry. Like always blame it on you, even if if they were the last ones that didn't respond. That's what I always do. Is I'll just be like, hey girl, I'm so sorry we never finished our conversation. Like things got so busy for me when she was the one that didn't respond, but who cares? She'll be like, oh shit, now I don't have to deal with that part of it. You know, cause she probably feels awkward too, that you're like, dang, she's going to be mad that I didn't respond to her. So I don't know how to start the conversation. So if you just, you know, and to fall on the sword, she'll be like, okay, no problem. So following up is just so big. And do you guys want to add anything at the end? Like your last minute tips? It can be on following up. It can be on anything we did not cover.
I have one just because I think it was at the boot camp in Houston that you were at, that we did a panel. It was like, I heard it and it was just a big thing. So especially for you moms out there, or you people that have multiple things that you're juggling, you were talking about how this business and life is like a juggling act. Now you just have to make sure that you don't drop the same ball 2 days in a row. You're always going to drop a ball here and there. It's going to be okay. One day you're going to be doing a Zoom and you can't put your kid to sleep, so your husband has to do it. That's fine. You can do it tomorrow. You're on a Zoom, you're busy, right? Don't drop the ball with work and with that. And then so tomorrow I'm going to make sure I don't drop the ball with her, and I'm going to make sure I get my work done by a certain time so that I can put her to bed. So just know that everybody has days. Like it doesn't matter how successful you are and how much you have going on. Like I have a distributor on my team that has 3 jobs, 3 kids. She's the most busy person I've ever met in my entire life. Like it's weird. So, and she still works this business and is amazing at it. So it's weird. Like, I don't know how she functions. She gets like 2 hours of sleep. Not kidding. So like, and she still makes it work, but she lives by that juggling act. Like I told her about that and she's like, oh my God, like that's how I work my business. And that's how I live my life. So that's one of my biggest tips that I've been using since I heard about that at the boot camp, because it's just like, it's a big game changer for me.
Yeah, I love that. Audrey, what about you?
I agree with I'm sorry, my 3-year-old. I'm dropping the ball with putting my baby to bed tonight because my husband's out of town. So she's not asleep and she's in here drawing all over the table right now. So mom life and business life. So yeah, I just agree. Like you just have to just take it one day at a time. Just trust the process. Like I know that this, might be scary because it's new. I know when I first got started, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never done anything like this before. But as long as like you just have an open mind, you keep doing that self-development and stuff, like y'all are going to be good. So
yeah. And I think at the end of the day, we all just have to embrace the chaos. Like you don't join this business and all of a sudden get extra hours in the day.
No.
You join because you want to change something about your life. So remember not, the stressful parts about this. Remember why you started. Okay. Remember why you are joining right now, and know that there are going to be days where you're going to be like, crap, it's freaking 6:00 p.m. and I haven't even gotten up one post. Okay. Don't just count the day out. Don't just say like, oh gosh, well, I guess I'll do better tomorrow. No, every little bit counts in this business. And so you're never going to feel like you do enough, but create a day where what is your bare minimum? What is, you will not go to sleep with your head on, like you will not put your head on a pillow before you do what? Okay. And make that bare minimum for you. Because if you let that bad day slip into a bad couple days and those couple days turn into a bad week and those bad weeks turn into a bad month, guess what happens? Because you're not doing any action, you're not getting excited about any of the results. Okay. So you are going to dwindle in your excitement and you're not going to do your self-development. You're not going to, you know what I mean? So it's going to be this big snowball effect. So it's very important that number one, you give yourself grace and you embrace the chaos, but two, you don't be your own worst enemy and sabotage the blessing that's right in front of you. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, thank you guys for hopping on and staying on. I'm so proud of you guys for investing this time into your business, and we literally can't wait to see you guys all promote. The momentum is here. So hope you guys have an amazing night.